Hi friends, hi, it's Alicia. I wanted to hop on and share a reading actually. This comes out of a newsletter that I received online from a young lady, Nicole Anderson. And I don't know how I ended up on her newsletter, but I love some of the emails that she's been sending out lately. So I definitely recommend looking up Nicole if you have any interest in the content that I'm sharing from. And so I think her company is called Performance Life Coaching. This particular newsletter that I'm going to read to you is on 8 keys to rewarding relationships. Ready to take control of your career, health, and relationships. And what she shares is really fantastic material. So I'm just going to read you what's in the email. And if you like it, look up Nicole, subscribe to her newsletter, and I'm sure you'll get more of what she posts. So all successful relationships have common characteristics. This is true whether the relationship is romantic, work-related, casual, or familial. Relationships are more stable and satisfying when all parties are on the same page. Communication is always a key element of healthy relationships, but there are additionally important factors. Practice these ideas in all of your relationships. 1. Accept responsibility. Forget about 50-50. Take full responsibility for your relationships. I love that. Relationships require regular attention and adjustment. Are you giving your relationships the time and maintenance needed to ensure success? And by the way, this actually reminds me too of Brene Brown's concept of depositing into relationships, where each partner actually helps the other get the relationship up to 100%. She talks about sometimes I only have 10% or 20% to give in a deposit, and my partner compensates by bringing in the rest. So there's 2 different ways to look at this idea, and I love them both. I really do love this value though of taking 100% responsibility for your part in the relationship. 2, be reliable. Regardless of the type of relationship, reliability is a key component. It is imperative that you can be trusted and relied upon. The importance of trust and reliability cannot be overstated. And this is a big one. People will often overpromise and underdeliver, and it is the quickest way to break trust. When someone tells me over and over and over again they're going to do something that they don't, if somebody says yes to things without checking their calendar and then cancel last minute, or even not last minute, cancel period, I am someone who has like very firm integrity with my word. If I say I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there, unless there's some crazy unforeseen circumstance, which almost never happens, where I would need to ask for a shift. And then when there's a shift, make sure you reschedule, make sure you make that person feel like a priority. Don't just let it fall off the calendar, because then it becomes difficult to honor and trust the integrity of your word. And those are the sorts of things that also foster resentment and break in relationship. Do you always keep your word? Can others count on you? Do others believe what you say? Relationships cannot survive without mutual trust. If you've been unreliable in the past, make a sincere effort to be 100% reliable going forward. And I've got to stress, it's not enough to say, I'll do better. How? If this is an ongoing pattern for you, then amends, true retribution involves a plan. How are you going to learn to be better? Saying I'll be better, but not actually developing skills to learn how to be better, it just ends up falling on deaf ears. So if somebody continuously disappoints me and then keeps saying I'm not gonna do it again, but then I don't hear them talking about getting therapy to learn how to not do it again, watching videos on like time management skills, or reading books like The 4 Agreements on having intentionality with your word, if I'm not hearing where's the skill development here, how are they actually nurturing learning to be better, then I'm not going to believe that they're just going to wake up different, right? And over time, that is going to chip away at the foundation of a relationship. Number 3, forgive easily. Everyone makes mistakes and everyone has bad days. Every person you know will hurt your feelings or let you down at some point. But it's okay, since you will invariably do the same. So allow for humanness. Every type of relationship has its rough spots. If you're unable to forgive and forget, the relationship is forever tainted. No one is perfect, so again, allow yourself and others to be human. Number 4, listen. Communication is key, and quality communication cannot take place without giving the other person your full attention. Turn off the television, close your laptop, give others in your relationship the time they need to communicate with you, and make sure you remove distractions, even from visible sight. Put your phone out of sight. Even just having your phone handy in, present view, on vibrate, for example, screen up in the midst of an important conversation, looks like at any given point in time you could be interrupted or pulled away, and it makes it harder for someone to talk about things, especially that are hard. When they're finished speaking, clarify anything that isn't clear, and then feel free to speak. So make sure you're listening to understand, not to respond. I'm sure everyone's heard that one before. Number 5, communicate your needs. Let others know what you need and expect from them. Most disagreements in all types of relationships are the result of someone's expectations being violated. It's not weak to speak up and make your needs known. It is assertive. And speaking of expectations, expectations can be the thief of joy. So really ask yourself, is this an expectation, a preference, a standard? Learn the difference. Look into it. Read up on it. Many of us expect others to read our minds and behave in a certain way. This is unfair and ineffective. 6, mind your tongue. Love this. It only takes a few seconds to say something that requires years to undo. If you tend to say harsh things in the heat of the moment, learn to take a pause before saying anything further. 10 seconds of keeping your mouth closed could eliminate a lot of your relationship drama. Number 7, accept a person's flaws are usually here to stay. Your ability to overlook and accept the other person's shortcomings is necessary for your relationship. For any relationship. That is not to say that you should overlook the fact that someone's a serial killer, but a relationship will be a source of grief without acceptance. There's a wonderful little book, I call it a little coffee table book, called When I Loved Myself Enough. You can see I can keep it right here. And you just open randomly to a page in the book. When I loved myself enough, I began to see that my ego is part of my soul. And with the shift in perception, it is lost in its stridency and paranoia and could do its job. That was a little obtuse. Let's go to another one. When I loved myself enough, I gave up the belief that life is hard. Let's try another one. When I loved myself enough, my heart became so tender that it could welcome joy and sorrow equally. Love that. There's one in there that says, when I loved myself enough, I began to understand that unease was a sign that I was living out of acceptance. This dis-ease, feeling uncomfortable, right? So there's really good little sound bites in there. Number 8, regularly evaluate your relationships. You wouldn't drive your car without looking at the gas gauge once in a while. Take the same attitude with your relationships. Ask yourself how each of your relationships is doing and take the necessary steps to strengthen them. Rewarding relationships enrich our lives in countless ways. The quality of our relationships affects our happiness and success. Relationships require analysis and attention to thrive. Review your relationship and find ways to enhance them. Be strong enough to forgive and communicate your needs. Relationships can be complicated, but they make life worth living. I just love that write-up. And so I encourage you to look Nicole up. Once I get this video posted and I have an opportunity to hop back on, I'll certainly link her either website or how you might find her as just kind of our thank you for providing material that I could use to kind of just invest into my own community that I'm building here. So thanks for being a part of my world. Have an amazing day out there.